What's up, everybody? Moses here, and I'm recording this video to kind of like show you how well, at least how I've been farming these memory fragments, and a little bit of more in-depth strategies on the synthesis league mechanic, because at this point, we can only assume that GGG are releasing league content in order to make it a part of the core game to a certain extent. So whenever you may watch this information will still be useful unless they change the mechanics, which they never actually do. They release the content and that's the mechanic. Like they're not going to start changing stuff that they did retroactively for any kind of reason, maybe fixing bugs or something like that. So, what I'm talking about are these is this Memory Nexus right here. The way I've been farming it is nothing intuitive. Basically, what you want to do is to create a 5 node right here, or anywhere really that is nearby. A 5 node, okay, so this piece right here, right, Rockpool's memory was connected to here. It was connected to here, and then I had like this sort of an X mark. The reason why I had this X mark is because you see the pieces themselves have these little pink wings. That means that they're fully stacked memory modifiers on these 5 nodes right here, 5 memory fragments. Alright, it used to be 5, now it's 4. The fifth piece I moved over here and decided to record this video. So imagine this piece being, here instead, okay? So that's how it looked like, a 5 piece, only this one was here, and then it takes a little bit to connect it, and the idea here is to connect it without losing the charges, right? The number 3 here means that this zone has 3 uses for it, okay? So when it has 3 uses, that means you can farm it. Once you're done farming memory modifiers, you can place an X mark. This is why we're, collecting an X mark shaped zone, which is 5 nodes connected to each other. Once you're manage to create this shape anywhere on your Nexus, it doesn't matter where, you could start slapping memory modifiers on this zone to enhance what this zone will contain. There's a whole bunch of memory modifiers. To name a few, let's just look at what we have over here. The white lines, you see there's 5 white lines. Each one of them is a memory modifier. So 2 additional quality currency items, 2% chance to drop divination card, 30% chance to drop veiled item, monsters grant 200% experience, pretty sweet, 5% chance to be corrupted. Alright, I just came back from one of these. This is a zone, like I said, this used to be placed here. So I slapped the same memory modifiers I slapped on these 5 are also affecting this, right? And this, and this, and this, and like, so all these 5, right? So this is just some of the stuff. We got a bunch of divination cards here, bunch of, currencies and whatnot. Essences came from a reward node with essences, but like you can see pretty much what I picked up off of this one zone right here. Of course, it's level 83. That's what I've only been farming level 83 zones, right? But yeah, you can do it on whatever zone. Just like the higher the zone, the better. All right. So the way that I've been farming it basically is you create this 5 node. They all have to be connected. All right, and it's not enough that you place them. All right, you also have to activate them. The way that you activate them is you you can place them, but they need to be activated. The way that they activate is by clicking on the memory stabilizer right here. All right, so the memory stabilizer, it was like gray. You can put this back. See, it's right now it's here. It's back, no problem. But yeah, it was gray when you put it here. And then when you click on the stabilizer, it will stabilize the memory. It still has 2 charges. The only way to consume a charge, see it has the number 2 right here. The only way to consume a charge is to actually, I'm not going to do it, but it's to actually get into the zone and activate the memory. Once you click this, the area become farmable, and you cannot get out, right? You cannot get out unless you click here, and then the area becomes farmable and you lose a charge. All right, so we're not going to do it right now because these are traveling nodes and I don't want to use them up. All right, so yeah, you get to use these memory modifiers. Once you build yourself a cluster of 5 nodes, you start traveling towards the memory modifiers. Currently, I only have this one. I had a few more and I just used them up over here, right? But basically, these will spawn, contains memory modifier, and then you just slap them until you have 5. 5 currently is the max. And when you have that, what you can do is basically you create yourself a zone that you can farm that has all these juiced up bonuses, right? And when you click on a memory stabilizer, see, this is a traveling node right here. Now, normally I would use this because it only has 1 charge, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to use one of, see, when you click on a memory stabilizer, it highlights in green all the pieces that you can use. If I had this, if it was in my queue over here, it would also show. Right, so all the pieces that are in green are pieces that I could actually place over here to connect to these 2 zones right here. Alright, it's not that complicated, and really if you just mess around with this a little bit, it becomes clear to you. Alright, a lot of people kind of like, man, it's too complicated, my brain burns. No, it's very simple once you engage with that a little bit. It's not the most intuitive thing, but it's also not rocket science, alright? So, see, this area here has only 1 charge, which means it will expire upon activation, and I can only use this as traveling, right? So what I will do later on is I'm going to place this over here to get to this boss, and maybe I'll record that too. But for now, I just wanted to show you one important thing is that memories that you move around, you can move around while using the memory stabilizer. See, when we click here, it will highlight the memories fragments that we can use, and then all you got to do is click on the memory that you choose, and then we click over here, and now it's connected. See, it expired from here, decayed, and it moved all the way over here. And the important part, it did not remove the buffs that it had on, right? So we can still use this. That's why we are placing them in a 5 cluster. That's the whole point. You place them in a 5 cluster so you can use them up later. You place memories that you have in your queue. The connection, like the shape, doesn't matter because you're going to end up using stuff anyways, right? You're going to end up using stuff in all sorts of shapes and sizes and connections, right? So you want a little bit of diversity there, right? But yeah, in this case, I could use this piece right here to be able to use in order to get to these nodes right here. Another thing is that memories expire after 5 minutes. Alright, so you have an instance that is going to be... Okay, so if I go in here right now, this area is only going to expire 5 minutes later. What does it mean, expire? It means that if I go over here, alright, and I spend 5 minutes or more in this memory area, I won't be able to go back without consuming another charge over here. Right now I have 2. See, and it's the same map. It's already explored because I already farmed it. Right? So it's very similar to when you're farming blood aqueducts. You go back and forth in the blood aqueducts. You press control to start a new, right? You press control on the entrance to create a new instance. So the same idea works here, only in any other area you have 10 minutes, and over here you only have 5. So this is something to keep in mind. Alright? And another rule is, you see these right here, the squares? These are the memory amplifiers. They grant you a bonus similar to stuff that can happen with memory modifiers, only different sort of bonuses. But the thing about those is that you cannot move the slab or the memory fragment or whatever these things are called, you cannot move these the way I showed you with this one, right? Because this we can move. If it's not placed on a memory amplifier, we can go to this stabilizer and move it here if we want to. See, just like that, we just move it and it will keep the buffs on. But if we want to move a piece like this, because it contains a memory amplifier, it sits on an amplifier, we cannot move it without losing the amplifier bonus. So it's something you may want to consider. Sometimes you really need the traveling path, and that's the only way for you to get to someplace, so you're going to have to lose that amplifier. But in most cases, keep that in mind and don't lose it, because this one, for example, doubles the values of memory modifiers affecting memories placed on this location, which means, you know, all the bonuses in white are going to be doubled. So that ends up being twice the juice in an area like this, so you don't want to give it up. Here we have increased experience from monsters slain in memory placed on this location, 100% increased XP. So again, we don't want to lose that if we can. If we don't have any other choice and we need it for the travel, and it's the only fitting memory fragment that we have to. But we cannot move it without losing the without losing the bonus of the memory amplifier. Okay, so my goal is to travel here and do these two nodes, right? I don't really care too much about the rewards here. Like, these particular rewards are pretty bad. I just want them to clear this path so I could get to the boss, because eventually I want to spawn a Cortex. It's been 2 months in this league and I still didn't spawn the end game boss, even though I've been farming this extensively. So alright, so let's go back to the 5-minute rule. Basically what I could do right now is I want to keep first of all, I want to farm this zone completely because it's juiced up, right? It has all these things. So let's farm this let's farm this zone, because it has 3 charges. It's not going to... Oh shoot, I'm actually pretty full. Let's go vendor real quickly. Yeah, so because this zone is fully, you know, it has 3 charges, right? It's not going to expire, and we can farm it, so it's not going to decay. Projectile speed and cold damage over time multi. Interesting. That's not so interesting, but yeah, this will keep. I don't know. This could be a good base. Projectile speed and cold damage over time multi. Could be good for, like, I don't know, Arctic Breath perhaps. Alright, let's put all of these over here. Alright, so this will still... Yeah, we're gonna get a whole bunch of loot here, dropping off of these monsters, divination cards and currencies, and chance for corrupted items. Maybe we get corrupted 6th link. We get increased experience over here as well. And yeah, this one is not sitting on a memory amplifier. Like, I don't worry too much about you know, perfecting each and every step that I make, because those things, planning them takes takes quite a bit of time, right? So in the end, you want to be killing stuff, right? You want to be killing monsters. You don't want to sit there and plan every single step you make. And I mean, even in these areas, like, sure, you want to kill stuff, but like, you're not going to be focusing on every single monster. This is a veiled item. Don't really care about veiled item too much, unless it's gloves, because I'm missing some glove Veilcraft mods. Alright. So, yeah, so now we're here, alright? And we want to eliminate this node so that we could get into the boss, right? And this is the point of why I've been farming here. So the idea is to clear this, and if we're doing it within the 5 minutes, we can still go back without consuming a charge, and then go to the right side and pick up that node on the other side as well. And we want to get to the memory modifier. Sorry, we want to get to the reward zone here as quick as we can, because this area actually expires. And we don't care about the loot because, you know, there's going to be a loot explosion once we click on the stabilizer, so we don't really care. And there it is. Reward location found. So everything that, like, nothing that happens here matters anymore. We're 100% going to be able to get the rewards here. What does matter is that we need to finish clearing this zone in under 5 minutes. 5 minutes is kind of a long time, and this zone is going to be cleared in just, you know, 30-40 seconds at most. And then we're going to be able to get back. So yeah, see, it expires, and that's basically tells us that's it. This is all we can farm. Let's jump over here, click this, kill this guy, and just basically loot whatever we can. Holy hell, there's a whole lot of stuff here. And of course a bunch of synthesized chests. Fractured stuff. This, just a whole lot of currencies. Nothing too insane. But there's a lot of it. What they should do, and I hope they do, is they move this memory stabilizer up top, because it covers a huge part of what you want to collect. Anything that we care about? I don't think so. Alright, so now we pick up this fusing. And now we go back, and this here will expire once we click the stabilizer. See? Now it's gone, and this area is still ours to farm. And that's the whole point. You could do the same thing over here and go back without losing a charge, and then, you know, do this and maybe pick up that, farm it, and go to the boss zone or something like that. Alright? So that was it. That was the video. Maybe a bit long, but I hope you learned something. And thank you very much for watching. See you guys in the next one.